All right, welcome back, crime fighters, for another edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place by helping us lock up the bad guys. I'm Chris Wright, along with Chief Deputy John Garlick. Good to see you.
Chris, good to be here. Good to be here.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
early.
Thanksgiving to you. The sheriff says, don't be a turkey, be thankful.
Okay. We're going to have a whole bunch of turkeys at the sheriff's office tomorrow.
Oh, yes, we are. Hundreds of them, in fact. People will be bringing turkeys down starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. Bring your turkey and drop it off. We're asking for a $15 donation. It goes right to the Baptist Children's Homes. And we will fry that turkey, and you can come pick it up before 4 o'clock.
Yeah, if it's not picked up by 4 o'clock, it's getting donated to somebody.
That's right, usually the Baptist Children's Home or somebody else who needs a turkey. But yes, so we're very excited about doing it. This is something that Sheriff Matthew Wade started years ago when he was Chief Deputy, and it's been going on ever since. Tremendously successful. Hundreds of turkeys are fried. And
we've got a certain number of turkeys that are set aside for specific purposes, but accepting up to 125, I believe,
Correct.
From the public, and you got to have them there by 10 o'clock in the morning.
That is right.
To be able to get it's a big process. If you don't paint within the lines, we're going to have problems.
Yes, yes. So we will do 125 turkeys for the public. So if you're the guy with 126 turkey, sorry.
And up to 17 pounds, I believe.
That's correct.
Yeah.
It's, however, I don't fry the turkeys. I stay inside and answer the phone so that everybody else can do the turkey frying. It's kind of a complicated thing with a bunch of oil and fire and
if
pressure.
you need more information on it, we've got that at the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office Facebook page, so you can go check that out. Let's talk about the criminals that have been caught this past week.
Yes, we've had several people that have turned in 4 turkeys for Thanksgiving already. Bringing our total to 4,067 people brought to justice since this show started. And we're very grateful for the people of Calhoun County working with us and giving us those tips so that we can bring people home for the holidays.
We've got another list ready to get started with here in just a couple of minutes.
We do.
So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the first half of this week's lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up on our lineup this week, yet again, Remington Johnson, last known to be living in Birmingham. He's wanted for murder, folks. We're looking for this guy. We need your input. Meet Ishmael Abu Bakr. Mr. Abu Bakr, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for probation revocation on assault third. And this is Erica Billings. Miss Billings, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for child support, non-payment, and failure to appear in child support. The face of a deadbeat mom. And meet Jericho Bailey. Mr. Bailey, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for non-payment of child support and failure to appear on the same. The face of a deadbeat dad. Take a look at Thomas Bird. Mr. Bird, last known to be living in Oxford. He's wanted for failure to appear, possession of marijuana second. And last up for the first half of our lineup, Trey Anderson. Mr. Anderson, last known to be living in Atlanta, Georgia. He's wanted for probation violation on possession of a forged instrument second. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show.
All right, we've got more bad guys that we'll be talking about here in a little bit, but let's take a break from the crime fighting for just a second and talk about something good in our community. And John, we want to talk about Habitat for Humanity.
I love Habitat for Humanity. With us, Amanda.
Hello.
How are you?
Great.
All right, so Amanda Pinson with Habitat for Humanity of Calhoun County. For anybody that's watching, I think most people in Calhoun County know about Habitat for Humanity, but what are you, for anybody that doesn't know, what is Habitat for Humanity and what's the #1 misconception that people have?
We're a nonprofit Christian housing ministry, and we are dedicated to eliminating substandard housing and homelessness in Calhoun County. We want to make adequate and affordable shelter a matter of conscience and action. And the biggest misconception to me is that people think our homes are free, and they actually aren't. There is a mortgage on the home, and what makes it affordable for low-income families is that it's an interest-free mortgage. So normally our payments with your principal and escrows range between $300 and $350 a month.
Okay, so they're paying for the home, and they're not just paying with money, they also have to put some sweat equity into it to get into this home.
Yes, they do. Each adult member of the family has to contribute 275 hours of sweat equity to help build their homes and other people's homes, as well as attending educational workshops about home ownership.
So they're putting in the work to get the home built, to help build the community outside of their own home, and to build the knowledge within themselves that's going to help them keep that home.
Absolutely. We've built to date over 150 homes in Calhoun County, which averages out to about a $9 million investment in the community. We've also rehabbed over 50 and completed over 50 Brush with Kindness programs.
And then, of course, John, you know that it doesn't stop with those immediate benefits there, because we've had people over the years that have gotten into these homes, and the benefits that the community sees from their change of life and the positive things happening in their life, well, you just can't measure all that, can you?
Well, and we reap the benefits at the Sheriff's Office. Our Captain Marcus Wood, in fact, grew up in one of the Habitat homes, and I met him long before he came to the Sheriff's Office at our annual Lobster Fest at Grace Church. He came to help out, and we really didn't make that connection until this year when he's like, I remember you at Lobster Fest. I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so that whole concept really works, and it's a blessing to the families and the community.
And he's an example not only within the Sheriff's Office, but if you don't know Marcus is awesome. And not only does he do great work for the Sheriff's Office, but he's out there with Oxford Baseball for Youth. I think he's the commissioner of the league, actually, isn't he?
I think he may be. And he's involved with the community in multiple ways. He doesn't rest. He stays awake all the time.
The community helped him out, and he has given back so much more to the community, and I'm sure you see that all the time, don't you?
We do. We see a lot of success stories in our homeowners, and not only our homeowners, but their children as well. When they're taken out of an environment, an unhealthy environment, whether that's due to substandard housing or in a high crime area, they can relax and focus more on their education and investing themselves into the community.
And if people are watching this saying, I love this concept and I'd like to get involved, I just never have found the right chance to do that, we've got an opportunity coming up here very soon, don't we?
Yes, absolutely. And there are many opportunities and ways to be involved, but we will begin construction on a home in February timeframe in Oxford. It's the Phil Webb Square Foot Challenge home. Phil Webb has generously donated a quarter of a home, and we've raised the funds to cover the rest. So that will be one way to volunteer your time on the construction site. If you're not comfortable maybe going out and swinging a hammer, or you don't really necessarily have those construction skills, then we also have a restore. And we need volunteers, all the time at the restore. And we can always use volunteers in our office. We have various committees. So there are numerous ways to be involved.
That restore, even if you're not volunteering, you just go in there and do some shopping, you're helping out. If we go into my laundry room, we've got a nice set of cabinets that came from the Habitat Restore. I've got a nice Milwaukee battery-powered drill that has come in very handy over the years. Several things that we've gotten from the Habitat Restore. It's great.
It is. We sell new and used building materials that are donated by individuals and businesses, and 100% of those proceeds are funded back into our home building programs.
Mm-hmm. So we might even be able to find a tool that you can use, John.
Maybe so.
And we would also love to mention that in our restore, we offer a 20% discount to any military and law enforcement personnel.
I definitely find a tool then.
Yeah, so
Too bad you can't.
I have to get you to go in and buy my stuff for me. Get that 20%.
There's a 10% commission kickback on that, yes.
This is not one where we want to game the system, because the money's going back in for a great cause.
It's a great thing.
Right.
All right, so we need to take a quick break, but we want to talk some more about Habitat for Humanity here in Calhoun County. So we will be right back with the second half of this week's lineup and more with Amanda on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Julia Beam. Miss Beam, last known to be living in Ohatchee. She's wanted for theft of property first motor vehicle. And take a look at Henry Burton. Mr. Burton, last known to be living in Benwood, West Virginia. He's wanted for probation revocation on theft of property. Third. Take a look at Jennifer Kelly. Miss Kelly, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for failure to pay on burglary. Third. And we'd like you to meet Ginger Couch. Miss Couch, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted on a probation revocation for theft of property. Second. And have a look at Cedric Furrier. Mr. Furrier, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to pay on theft by deception. Third. And last up in our lineup this week, Tony Cargill. Mr. Cargill, last known to be living in Verbena. He's wanted for non-payment of child support and failure to appear for child support. We end with the face of a deadbeat dad. If you know the whereabouts of these folks, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers. That number, 256-238-1414.
All right, we'll have our Crime Stoppers segment of the show in just a few minutes and our Crazy Criminal of the Week. We got a crime, John. I bet you've never heard this one before.
Uh-oh.
You've heard them almost all, but not quite this one.
I've heard a lot of stuff.
All right. Amanda is with us right now. Amanda Pinson from Habitat for Humanity, Calhoun County. Good to see you.
Great to be here.
And so we were talking about how many homes have been built in Calhoun County and such, but a lot of people don't realize the ongoing investment that's coming back into Calhoun County through these homes.
Yeah, absolutely. We were founded in 1994, so since 1994 we've built a little over 150 homes. And again, that equals out to about a $9 million investment into the community. 36 of those were built in 2003 with the Jimmy Carter Work Project. And we've also renovated over 50, and we have a program called the Brush with Kindness, which is a minor home repair. It's basically like a facelift for the exterior of the home. And we've completed over 50 of those, and we plan on completing at least that many more this coming year.
Wow, that's a lot.
And our homeowners also, you know, they're going from a rental environment into they're a homeowner, so they pay their property taxes, they pay homeowners insurance, they have utilities.
They're doing all the things that other homeowners are doing, putting money back into the community in so many different ways, and so that's all good. Talking about the renovations and the facelifts, there, you know, a lot of people when they think about Habitat for Humanity, they just immediately think of the new home build, and that's great, and that's the centerpiece of the organization. But all those renovations and facelifts, they make a big impact on the immediate community where they are. When people start putting a little bit extra pride back into one home, it just kind of lifts the whole community.
Yes, and you know, and that's what we want. We want to have more of an outreach on the community other than just building new homes. The renovations are needed, and the Brush with Kindness program is certainly needed. We would also like to work more with veterans in our community as well.
There is a need. A lot of people don't realize how much of a need we have right here in Calhoun County for homes that are livable homes for families. There are a lot of people that just don't have access to a home that is a good, safe environment where their kids can grow up and succeed.
Yeah, and you know, I think I was very naive to that prior to originally I was a volunteer with Habitat before I was hired on as staff. And a part of that process, I'm on the Family Selection Committee. And what we do is when people apply for Habitat, if their application is approved, we go out for a home interview. And during that process, it was very apparent to me that there's a huge need in this community.
I've been in some of those homes that, you know, you really can't call them a home. They're shacks with holes in the floor and holes in the wall. They're cold, damp, not adequate lighting. It's a very oppressive environment to live in, let alone grow up in.
It is, and that's why it's so important for agencies like Habitat to be involved in the community and to make improvements. And, you know, our mission is to eliminate, eventually, that's our hope, you know, to eliminate those conditions.
And it affects the physical aspect of life. It also affects the mental aspect of life. When a child is brought up in those conditions, it's hard to imagine succeeding in life, to accomplishing the goals that some of us take for granted. As you know, our kids better at least do this,
Right.
and they think that is unattainable for them. When they have a chance to live in a standard, not substandard home, the mentality changes. Their world gets bigger and brighter.
Absolutely, and you know, I've heard children of our homeowners say, you know, before moving into their Habitat home, they were embarrassed and ashamed to have their friends over, you know, but now they have moved into a safe environment, into a neighborhood. They're part of a community. They have a safe, decent, affordable home, a yard to play in. I mean, you know, that's even something that we take for granted, because some people, they can't let their kids go outside and play because it's too dangerous.
Yeah, it's a safe neighborhood, a safe home,
Yeah.
a healthy environment to grow up in makes a good citizen.
Tell you, living in a neighborhood next to a Habitat for Humanity home, as a homeowner, I'd love it, because those are people, they put the work in, they appreciate that home, they're going to keep it up.
Yes, and they do. Our homeowners, they take pride in their homes. So, you know, I can go into neighborhoods that were built 10, 15 years ago, and these homeowners, you know, they still maintain their homes. They take pride.
It's great. Amanda, thank you for your time being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And
It's been a
keep
pleasure.
up the good work.
Thank you.
All right. We need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show, some property crimes that maybe you can help us solve, and we'll have our crazy criminal of the week on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show. We have two cases for you to help us with this week. First, on November 14th, sometime between November 14th and November 15th, an air machine was stolen from the Samco station on Highway 431 in Alexandria. And last up, on the 18th of November, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 8 a.m., someone burglarized a home located on McIntosh Road in Oxford. If you know any information about these cases, and we hope you do, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers. That number, 256-238-1414. Remember, we want your information and not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
All right, John, I know you've gotten calls about a lot of different crimes in your career.
Yeah.
Anybody ever call you up and say, hey, somebody stole my front lawn?
No.
65-year-old lady. Here, let's show you the picture here. She had her front lawn stolen. She decided that she didn't want to have to keep her lawn up, so she got artificial turf and put it down on her small space in front of her apartment home there, and somebody stole it.
Wow. That's interesting. Not one of those quick crimes, was it? Just kind of walk in and walk out with it.
I don't know exactly how much you'd have to do to get out the artificial. Is it attached, or is it just laying there? Or
I don't know. It looks like it got beamed up to me. I was like, aliens came and took her astroturf.
Yes. What do you do with the artificial turf that you steal from somebody's front yard?
Build a mini golf course? I don't.
There you go. If there's a new mini golf course in town, go check it out.
That's our suspect
see,
right there.
That right there, that is why he is the chief deputy. He figures it all out. Crimes will not go unpunished.
That's correct.
John has the criminal mind to know what they're going to do with that artificial turf.
Right. I always ask myself, what will I do with stolen astroturf? They don't know that each blade of grass is digitally marked, so that we can trace that blade of grass back to where it was manufactured. So we already know.
Yeah.
All we have to do is scan the grass, and
We got you.
we got it.
Right.
You're in trouble.
Okay. That's all the time that we have for this week. Mercifully, it is wrapping up. We will be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Have a great Thanksgiving.